DeFi. Everything decentralized over here, my boy. Catch up. See, I see these niggas talking DeFi, but they not talking DeFi how I'm talking DeFi. Word. Let's get it.
Hey, Rick. Sparkswap, 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 yeah, I be on Sparkswap, 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 yeah, I be on Sparkswap, yeah, I use the bridge on Sparkswap, yeah, I just LP on Sparkswap, yeah, I'm a compound on Sparkswap, yeah, I be on Sparkswap, 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 yeah, I be on Sparkswap, 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 yeah, I be on Sparkswap, yeah, I use the bridge on Sparkswap, yeah, I just LP on Sparkswap, yeah, I'm a compound on Sparkswap, yeah, I be on Sparkswap, DeFi days, I just made 3 LPs, PLS USDC, dying I picked it up with ETH, PLS Pulse X, it's about 19%, every day printing my rent, I swear Sparkswap a hidden gem, in the sparkler with the spark, I used to watch out for the narcs, now watch out for the G's, I'm trapping in these DeFi streets, gotta watch how you move, a scammer might take your food, so I park up and spark and keep it cool, EMP agent salute, Sparkswap, 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 yeah, I be on Sparkswap, 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 yeah, I be on Sparkswap, yeah, I use the bridge on Sparkswap, yeah, I just LP on Sparkswap, yeah, I'm a compound on Sparkswap, yeah, I be on Sparkswap, 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 yeah, I be on Sparkswap, 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 yeah, I be on Sparkswap, yeah, I use the bridge on Sparkswap, yeah, I just LP on Sparkswap, yeah, I'm a compound on Sparkswap, yeah, I be on Sparkswap.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I'm the team lead, and this is our live AMA. We now cover not only our EMP ecosystem, but all of our ecosystems. We like to refer to them as franchises now. We'll be going over Spark, CETO, L1X, or L1DEX, lots of other stuff in the works. Happy Monday to all of you. Sorry we're a little bit late. Never a dull moment around here. Always working right up until the AMA time. And a brand new intro. So we showed the video once before, I think, but I found it again in my archives. A shout out to DeFi DAAS for creating that. We'll post his socials as well. But all right, before we get started, let me introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? I hope everyone's having a good day.
Yeah, no doubt. I hope so as well. Another week ahead. I think that Bitcoin and the overall markets are looking healthy. A little bit of a recovery over last week, so that's always good. Obviously, EMP and PEG are up as well. So yeah, hope all of you are enjoying your day today. We have again a lot to go over. We may make this a little bit shorter. A lot of our AMAs have been almost 2 hours the last few weeks, but nevertheless, we have a lot to cover. So we'll jump right in. We're going to start with Sparkswap. We have a lot of news with Spark, and we'll kick it off with our brand new PERPS initiative. So as a lot of you know, we are officially out of our beta for Perpetuals. Perpetuals is our fully decentralized Perpetuals leverage trading platform. And we've been getting a lot of success. Volume is picking up nicely. We're growing very organically, nothing too crazy, but we are putting out a bunch of initiatives for the month of May, and that starts with our sharing competition. So LA has been posting a bunch on our Twitter and Telegram. I also just recorded, and it released earlier today, a very brief tutorial on how to get involved with PERPS. Just again, a quick overview, and then we have a full hour-long tutorial about Perpetuals if you want a little more info. But LA, so far so good, huh?
Yeah, we have a couple users who are going gung-ho on the competition so far who have been posting up a storm. So you guys got to all jump on board so that one or two people don't make it super easy to win. I mean, come on.
I love it, 100%. So, you know, there are a few stipulations all throughout May. Again, we're trying to encourage those shares. So, uh, as long as you are able to share, which I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, and tag both Sparkswap and DexFi, you will be eligible. So, LA, let me go.
And
Yeah,
use
go.
the hashtag. So I'm going to go over actually all the
Yeah, please do,
eligibility
because I'm gonna have to
because
pull up the screen.
there's
So yeah,
more
go
than
ahead.
just that. So I want to go over all of it.
All right,
So
go ahead.
there's a whole list that I want to go through with you guys tonight. So after completing the winning trade, you're gonna share your winning trade, which the preview will automatically generate for you. You'll click share, you'll post it to your social media, and you'll tag both Sparkswap and Dex Finance, and you'll use the hashtag perps on Spark. And then you have to be following both Sparkswap and Dex Finance accounts to be eligible. And we'll be picking the winners based on who's the most active over the month of May with sharing their winning trades, as well as interacting with and sharing our accounts posts on all of our social media platforms. So not just sharing your own trades, but also liking, retweeting, commenting on all of our social posts in general, not just perp related posts. So whoever is by far outshining everyone with being the most social, as it is a social sharing competition, will win. And there may be one winner, there may be multiple winners. It really just depends on how many people are really like going for it and how many people we feel deserve to win. So one person might win 500 or multiple people may split the pot depending on how many people are really taking it seriously and we feel deserve to win.
Perfect. Is that it for right now? I'm gonna go over. Sorry, I
Yeah.
just got my screen up. So yeah, 100%. Again, LA and the rest of the team, we've been really excited to roll this out. I haven't even told LA this, but for those that are listening to the AMA, I'm also gonna do a bit of an Easter egg for the highest percentage that you're able to win too. So well, there'll be plenty of opportunity to make money and get some great rewards as long as you're using the PERPS platform. So, and that's the highest percentage gain. I'll show you here in a second what I mean. So, but this is the overview again. A lot of you I know have already been using this, but just so you know, you do need to have SDI in order to open a trade. So you go to trade and you go to exchange, and you would use Pulse or ETH or any other asset to buy SDI, and then you can get started. And again, remember we do have a limit on the minimum that you can open the trade at. It sounds worse than it is, but and this is just again to protect the platform as well. But you will need if you're only going to do $10, which is the minimum, you will have to go full 50x leverage, and then as you can see, this button pops up. So it is a $500 open position minimum. You could just do $500 at no leverage or 250 at 2x leverage. Again, plenty of options, but I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. And then most importantly, in terms of the social sharing competition, again, I have a history here. You'll open a trade as long as that trade is in profit. You can go here, we'll click, and then this button right here at the bottom, that share button. Oh, my mouse is all over the place here. Anyway, that share button at the bottom, there we go, is what you want to hit. You can click it a few times, and as you can see, I don't know, I might cut off my screen, but it'll tell you that the trade has been copied to the clipboard. And if you're on a PC, all you have to do is go to Twitter or Telegram or Discord and hit Control V. I think Mac users, it's Command V. but essentially paste, you paste that in whatever you're trying to share, and it will automatically update with the really cool Sparky winning trade image. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to Twitter to show you that. Give me 1 second here. One more second, sorry. All right. So there you go. Again, you would hit Control V to paste. I didn't even follow the rules. I tagged Sparkswap and DexFi, but yeah, it is important that you do the hashtags as well. And we have this badass, winning trade image with Sparky on there, and it shows the leverage, your close price, and the percentage of profit that you're in. So I will be keeping an eye out. I'm just going to do it for my personal funds. This is totally separate from the actual competition, but I will be looking out to see whoever gets the highest percentage win. I'll send you a little bonus as well. So, and we are going to be rolling out a leaderboard competition as well. So that will be based on volume. The UI again needs to be set up to track that. We're hoping by the end of the week or at least by the middle of the month, and then we'll have a full 2 weeks towards the end of the month to run that competition as well. So, LA, anything you want to add before I pull up my notes or while I'm sharing? Is there anything else you want me to go over?
It's exciting stuff.
For
Can you
sure.
just go over why, even though 50x seems like a lot, it's actually not?
Yeah,
Because there
100%.
was a comment in the chat, so I just want to kind of, while you're on that page, just go over that.
Yeah, totally. So again, the beauty of leverage trading, it gets a bad rap, but really, when you think about it, it's a lot less risky than people think. So, the beauty about leverage trading, excuse me, is that you're able to get a larger position without risking a lot of capital. So, again, a $10 SDI with a 50x leverage, you will never be able to lose more than your $10. So, when you're not losing leverage, you have to have a $500 position to equate to that. Now, obviously, the higher leverage, the shorter your spread is in terms of liquidation. But, we're all gambling on the price going up and down anyway. So the fact that you, again, get a lot more exposure without the downside of losing all your money on a higher position is actually pretty bullish. So, again, and a lot of that too is to protect the health of the platform. We don't want to, especially early on before we're able to build millions of dollars of liquidity, we don't want to allow massive leverage with massive positions because it could potentially, drain the liquidity. So, but yeah, I mean, we've seen you can look in the history. Let me go over the stats. You can go through and see all the public trades too. And look, I mean, all these people are in profit. So again, it is exciting to see people winning as well. So, and the other really bullish part is, all the fees, all the liquidations when they do happen, all of that goes to feed the protocol and especially Sparkler rather than just going to, make the devs or project leads rich. So, again, it's all fully decentralized. Everybody's rewarded that's in Sparkler through the fees, and the daily volume has been going up. I mean, today alone we're almost at 100K, so that's super bullish, and we're headed in the right direction. So, LA, anything else?
No, that's it. I think that's exciting stuff, guys.
All right, amazing. Let me pull up my notes again, and then we can go over a little bit more. Bear with me, everybody. one more second here. All right, here we go. All right, we're back. All right, sorry about that, everybody. So yeah, again, I mentioned it earlier, but we do have a brand new tutorial video out on perps as well. That would be a great thing for everybody to share and engage with on our socials. That is a great entry level overview of what perps is. It also explains why our Perpetuals platform is different. Again, we are not a GMX fork. 99% of all decentralized leverage platforms are GMX forks, and that's very limiting. I mean, again, just to go over it briefly, they operate with fully collateralized trading, which sounds, bullish, but when you actually think about it, it's very limiting. So they can only open trades if there is enough liquidity. And another really crazy part about those leverage trading platforms is if you're in profit and the protocol senses that there may be you're getting close to utilizing all the liquidity in that particular asset, they will actually close your trade early. So that is again uh, not bullish at all. So with us, we're not a fork of anything, but we're a hybrid platform built from the ground up, modeled after GNS, the Gains Network, and that is a non-collateralized trading platform where everything is paid out in a centralized liquidity pool. And when I say centralized, I don't mean in terms of ownership. I mean just one giant fund that facilitates the trades. So we have over $400,000 of liquidity, and all of that is protocol owned. We are continuing to add to that liquidity on a daily basis. And yeah, you will never be in a position where you are getting stopped out early from the protocol, or again, the ability to not even open a trade, as long as there again is more than enough liquidity in the SLP, which there is, and it will never let you open a trade to begin with if, for whatever reason, we would not be able to pay out those winnings. So it's really bullish, and it's an industry first, especially on Pulse. Again, there's one other leverage trading platform, but it's not even close to being as flexible. And the whole reason that we built the Perps platform is because we don't want people leaving Pulse to begin with to get exposure to Bitcoin and ETH. We want them to stay on Pulse and utilize their assets to work for them to get exposure to blue chips. And we will be adding more down the road, not only top 10 blue chips, but also Pulse, Hex, and Ink as well. So we have a ton of things on the roadmap for perpetuals, and we're only going to continue to grow volume. So, all right. Again, LA, anything additional with perps?
Definitely check out the video and make sure to give our tweets and everything on the video a good share and comment, etc., so we can continue to get the word out about the platform.
Perfect. Yeah. And again, our fees are also very competitive. Another issue with those GMX forks, the fees tend to be crazy high. So we also have a great product market fit with that as well. Remember, the more leverage you take, the more borrowing fees there are, but still we're very competitive with that. So all right, awesome. And then last but not least, in terms of Spark, we are getting closer and closer to the launch of our 404s. So we've been sharing some screenshots. Today was a bank holiday for our devs, so we usually have our dev meeting on Mondays, but unfortunately today they are enjoying, well, I'd say fortunately, today they are enjoying a little time off, which is very rare in the crypto space. We all work nonstop, but so we will have a lot more updates on Thursday. But we're getting closer and closer. Again, the marketplace is pretty much finished. And right now it's just finishing up the artwork, because we are literally generating 10,000 unique images. So every Sparky robot NFT will be 100% unique. So that is a time-consuming process, but it's mega bullish for when we finally do launch. So keep an eye out for that. Again, for those that haven't been following, the number one way to get those NFTs is by actually burning Spark for a token called B Spark or Burned Spark, and that's how you actually buy the NFTs. So this should be really bullish for our economics as well, taking even more Spark out of circulation. And I saw a YouTuber covering Spark the other day, and I think people are still not really understanding the sparkler mechanisms, not only in terms of yield, but how much spark is actually locked up in sparkler. So again, based on the on-chain data, about 40% of the entire spark supply is actually locked for the on the higher end of 10 years in sparkler. So unfortunately, because it's a smart contract, and doesn't register as a burn address, um, the circulating supply shows a lot higher than it actually is. And again, that is really, really bullish because once we do see some more buying pressure and pulse recovers, there will be a lot less spark available, even with our emissions schedule. So all of that is again really bullish for the economics in the long term. So, all right, awesome. LA, anything else with Spark before we move on to Fusion?
No, but we are going to continue to make more and more tutorials. We've got some more bridge tutorials coming out very soon this week. And we'll continue to pump out this educational content. You can find it all in our playlist section on this channel. It's called the Sparkswap Educational Series. And so if you are helping to onboard any new users, or if you're a newer user yourself, don't ever hesitate to ask questions. And we will continue to have a whole bunch of educational content for you.
Perfect, awesome. And I do see a quick question. Again, we'll take some questions at the end. But my man, Steve Arator 282, Steve, I can always say it wrong. But Steve, a longtime supporter, good to see you back, brother. He's asking if we have talked about how much the NFTs, the 404 NFTs will be. We have not released that info yet, but even if you don't have Spark, I think the option or the plan at least is that we will have a Zapper as well, and that will just go under the hood and buy Spark and burn it for you. So that is exciting as well, especially for newcomers that maybe don't know about Spark but want to get involved in the NFT. And then yeah, to answer your question about the price, we again have not disclosed that yet. It'll be in our docs. And as we get closer, we'll give a hard number, but I do think the plan is to list it lower than what CETO started at. So I think the consensus, again, based on what we learned, was a bit of a lower price so that we can see more X's on the rise. So all right, hopefully that helps, Steve. Good to see you, brother. All right, LA, moving on to Fusion. Again, as I said earlier, today was a bank holiday, so we didn't have a developer meeting, but we are having one tomorrow, and we will have some big Fusion news on Thursday. All we can say for today is expect the news, or announcement you've been waiting for within the next couple of AMAs. So again, I think that's as bullish as it can get. We've been very hesitant on releasing a date until everything's ready, and obviously we've said we want to give you as much heads up as possible to prepare for sacrifice. But again, I think that's the first time we've ever said a couple of AMAs. So, LA, anything you want to add to that? Again, it's getting really exciting. Yeah.
No, I think it's best that you read into that what you will, and we leave it at that.
Perfect. There you go. All right. Awesome. All right. So we do have an update as well on Speakeasy. So, LA, do you mind reading their official announcement, and then I can kind of go into that a bit more?
Yep. Let me just pull it up real quick. 1 second here. Okay, so the time has come to move into the next phase of this project. The Drinks version of the Speakeasy protocol has been a huge success in paying out 1% or more daily for nearly a year, but now the Treasury has run dry of available tokens for rewards payouts. What does that mean? First, it means the end of the weekly ROI DApp rewards portion of this protocol. This section will close on Saturday, May 11th, or whenever we completely run out of tokens, or whichever happens first. But that doesn't mean it is over completely. Far from it. As you can see from the screenshots above, there, if you want to see the screenshots, you can just go to the Speakeasy group and click on the pinned announcement. We have a very interesting situation. Of the 1 billion tokens we minted, nearly 3/4 are now in the Drinks USDT LP, the total value of which is currently $12,000, meaning we aren't out of money, we're out of token. This has happened because of the lack of buy pressure on Drinks, because we've had minimal utility. And why would you buy a token when you could earn a ton in the protocol? So now that the rewards protocol is ending and the bootleggers run is just getting started with all the utility it plans for Drinks, we could see some interesting price action with the tokens that are still out there. So you have 3 options. Number 1, sell your tokens on PancakeSwap. Number 2, put your tokens in the exchange, which will remain open for now. Or number 3, hold your tokens and see how this all plays out.
Perfect. Thank you, LA. Again, always appreciate you doing the long-winded announcements. But yeah, so just to recap, again, Speakeasy is a longtime partner protocol. It's run by one of our OG members, Kirk. And, again, I think that this has always been something on the horizon. Kirk has been very forthcoming that, eventually he may have to pivot. And we've seen it 100% with all the daily ROI apps that offer the 1% daily. However, I think that this is, somewhat bullish for sure, because again, for those that follow that ecosystem, you know that he has transitioned into more of a real yield model with his protocol called Smuggler's Run. We have some runs as well that are under EMP and Spark. For those of you that want to get involved, make sure you select all the runs that have EMP or Spark in the name. But the actual utility will come on the Drinks token. So now it is again, it's always been a fixed supply, but now the emissions are dry. And typically when that happens, it's very bullish for the price of the token. So again, not financial advice. We're giving everybody an update. It's definitely not a rug. I think the majority of people that were in the Drinks protocol, have done fairly well over the last year. And we're excited to see the new utility for Drinks token within the Smuggler's Run ecosystem, and anything else Kirk might build. Again, he's working with some great devs. He has a lot of good ideas. Obviously, I give him advice, the best that I can, and we like to support each other. So definitely check it out. Just if any of you do have Drinks, I wanted you all to be aware of the changes. So, all right, I think we covered most of that. And then last but not least, we wanted to do a full segment on safety again. Unfortunately, we've seen another incredible rise in scammers. We have some tried and true measures that we advise everybody to abide by. I'll give you some of my other advice as well. Again, not financial advice, but safety advice. But I guess first and foremost, remember the admins will never randomly DM you. So if you get a DM, maybe you ask a question publicly, and then you get a DM from somebody pretending to be me or LA or Stinky. Uh, again, that has 99% of the time a scammer. So please make sure that you are aware of that. There's many ways to check. Number one is to confirm publicly, who this person is. Number two is to look at the actual name, and on the right-hand side, not the name itself, but in the upper right-hand side, it will say team member, and that again is something that is non-duplicatable. And one more way is, even now, if you're listening to this AMA, and you see me speaking in Telegram, you can click on my profile and send me just a say hi, in a personal message. And then you'll know that we have a history together and that it is actually me that is speaking. So those are some, again, ways to make sure you're not getting DM'd. You can also set your message settings as well. Again, to not be contacted or called. That also helps. And just some other info, and then LA, I'll let you add to this for sure, but we will never message you a link to click on as well, or ask for any kind of seed phrase, to connect to a support site, or nothing that isn't publicly listed in all of our groups. So again, just to give you an example of that, some of the scammers will pretend to be support, and either flat out ask you for your seed phrase. Again, never, ever, ever do that under any circumstances. Um, but more sneakily, they will ask you to connect to a support website. We do not have any support websites. All of our bridge support or any support in any of our protocols we handle publicly through our main chats, whether it's Discord, or Twitter, or Telegram. So again, that you connect to the fake website, that you connect to your wallet, and then they can drain all of your funds. So do not do that. And again, if it sounds suspicious, you can always ask publicly, and make sure that who's responding is somebody that's been in the group for a while. Because again, the scammers are also pretty tricky, where they may say, yeah, that's the right person, but they're part of the team that is trying to scam you. So again, you can never be careful enough. All
For
right,
sure.
yeah, go ahead, Ellie. Anything to add for those points before we move on to some other points? Yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to say, like, keep in mind as well, when you're in the L1X groups too, because we have a lot of the same admins. And I know that a lot of you got into L1X from our pre-sale here, and then you're going there to ask questions, obviously, because you're still trying to get your tokens, or you're still trying to get into X perks, or now that the launch is happening, you're trying to get everything sorted. And with that process in particular, the scammers are taking advantage of the fact that it's been such a complicated process with so many steps and so many words, like data sanitization and all this complicated stuff, that it's almost too easy for them to make you think that there's this other complicated step that you have to take in this other website you have to go to, because there's already been so many complicated steps, and like no one really knows what's going on. And so just please keep that in mind. Like, there won't ever be anything through a DM in their groups. It's always going to be in a newsletter, or in their Discord announcements, or like in their official blog. Like, it's never going to be sent to you through a DM with a random website. And it's too easy to fall for that because of the way that the process has been. So I just want to just say that as well, because that I just feel like that would be very easy to happen as well. But the scammers just seem to be getting better and better at disguising themselves. And one thing that I've noticed they're doing a lot now, because they know that we always warn you guys that we'll never DM you, is that they'll temporarily come into the group and they'll say, they'll reply to your message asking for help, and they'll say, DM me. And then once you DM them, they'll delete their message so that admins can't see that they did that and catch them, basically. And so that's why it's so important to really check those chat bubbles and make sure that you're clicking on the right person, because they very easily can do a lookalike profile. And when you're going through these problems and you've been at it for an hour and you're trying to figure stuff out and you're frustrated and you're just trying to get things to work, sometimes it's easy to forget to do those little things.
Yeah, 100% LA. And again, to that point, there's usually never a situation that, it's worth getting frustrated and trying to do something quickly and sacrificing, your funds basically, or the risking your funds. So my point is, even if you have to wait for an AMA, like you can literally come on and ask a question right here on an AMA and hear my voice. I have a very distinct voice that's hard for the scammers to duplicate even with AI. So again, I'm happy to just walk anybody through issues, even on an AMA, or ask your question on Discord, and we can help. So yeah, that those are all great points, LA. I have a few more points as well. Any big announcements about launches, contests, etc., will always be in the pinned messages. So again, please make sure you know how to check pinned messages. It's the little area at the top of Telegram, or in the announcements section of our Discord. And you can scroll back through and see some of the history of the pinned posts as well. But that's really important. No, we will never ever DM you an announcement. I know that is a very popular scam, where they'll say, hey, Fusion is live. You can deposit now in a DM, and it's some totally random token or random scam website. So don't fall for that. We would never DM you any sort of announcement, for sure. So, all right, and again, if it feels fishy, it probably is. If you're ever questioning something, or you get this gut instinct, please follow that. Again, your intuition is usually the best sign. And again, even if you have to just ignore, just take a chill and just literally not do anything, that is usually a better result than trying to do something and getting scammed. So if you do feel uncomfortable, or something is up, your intuition goes off, just shut your computer off and wait for an AMA, or wait for, again, an official response from us. So all right, again, scammers often also make lookalike profiles. So like we were saying earlier, it may say LA, or it may say AJ with my exact profile picture, but it's not me because of, again, in the upper right corner, it will say team member or admin, or have some sort of title that, again, cannot be duplicated. It's usually also a little more gray, other than, the actual name is more black. So just be aware of all that as well. And then the most important advice we can give, again, if you don't listen to anything, please listen to this. Get yourself a hardware wallet. So we can't emphasize that, enough. It's worth the money. It's worth every penny. We have multiple affiliate links for those hardware wallets. Again, there's many different options. Obviously, do your research. We're happy to tell you what ones our community recommends. But any hardware wallet is better than no hardware wallet. And what that will do is it requires you to sign a transaction with the hardware wallet, um, rather than the scammer, just pushing through, a transaction on your behalf. Now, the only caveat to that is that if for whatever reason, your actual seed phrase is compromised, they can get around the hardware wallet. It's almost a race to the finish on moving your funds out. So if in a worst case scenario you do get compromised, do work as fast as you can to send your assets to another wallet. So it is, like I said, a race to zero with you against the scammer. So and then one more bonus tip, and then LA, I'm happy to have you expand. We also highly recommend that you have multiple wallets. So again, I think another big mistake is that people have their entire life savings or crypto savings in one wallet, and when you get compromised, that's it. So the better route would be to maybe have a wallet for each protocol that you are invested in or deal with. We also suggest again what we call a condom wallet, and that is just a blank wallet with only minimal gas in it, where you can connect to new projects with that wallet, and even if it is a scam, you only maybe lose a couple of bucks in gas rather than your whole wallet. So that's another great practice. And then again, if you have say more than 20 grand or whatever is a larger number for you personally in one particular protocol, then you could even break that wallet up into multiple wallets. I know, I mean, me personally, I have about 50 wallets, and it is a pain in the ass to manage, but it lets you sleep at night a little bit better that you're not getting hacked. Now, again, there's always a caveat. So if you are using MetaMask or and you log in under one password, and all those wallets are under one password, if your password is compromised, you are still screwed. So just be very careful with that. You are able to create new wallets without it being under, MetaMask. You can just create a new wallet and not import that to MetaMask. There's a bunch of different ways to get around that. Again, you can watch plenty of tutorials online. But really, those are like everything that we could come up with in terms of being safe. And another thing to remember is, not only is a hack obviously detrimental to you, but it also can be detrimental to the protocol as well because, hackers also dump those assets on the community's head and leave. So, again, obviously you want to protect yourself, but it's also up to all of you to protect the community by not getting hacked and leading to the scammers, taking liquidity from all of us. So, all right, LA, anything you want to add to that?
No, but I did think of one more topic that I do want to bring up very briefly.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of along these lines, but just kind of learning how to protect yourself and then learning important things in DeFi in general. There's been this theme that's been coming up lately quite a lot in the chats, and I just want to address it. I think we've spoiled users for quite a long time with our Zap buttons. And now that we have our Zap buttons on EMP disabled, I'm finding there's a lot of people who do not know how to create liquidity on their own. So I do want to encourage all of you. It would be very easy for us to go ahead and make a video, but there's so many videos out there. And I always want to empower the user to educate themselves and go out there and put in a little bit of effort to teach themselves, as opposed to just spoon feeding them, because it's clear that us doing that already is the reason that so many people don't know how now and are in position. So this is such an important skill to be able to know how to do in DeFi. It's one of the first steps that you should learn when getting into DeFi. And so if you're in that position, that I strongly encourage you to spend some time on YouTube and just type in how to add liquidity on PancakeSwap. how to remove liquidity on PancakeSwap. And even in general, and not directly relating to EMP, just teaching yourself how to form LPs and split LPs, which is basically called adding liquidity and removing liquidity. And then when it comes to EMP specifically, if you still have questions, we are absolutely happy to help you walk through them, because you need to be on the V2 tab, and there's a couple specifics that you need to know. But it's so important to teach yourself that skill. And once you watch a few videos, you'll see that it's actually very easy and very simple to do. And if you're on Sparkswap, you can do it directly through our DEX. If you're on Pulse Chain, if you're on EMP, you have to do it through PancakeSwap, because we don't have a DEX on EMP. But definitely, you'll feel really happy when you know how to do that yourself, because not every protocol you're going to interact with is going to have zap buttons. And we're going into the bull run, and you're going to want to know, how to get involved in the things that you're excited about.
I love it, LA. That was a great follow-up, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, here at EMP, it has always been part of our ethos and mission to make better DeFi users. And yeah, I mean, again, it blows my mind sometimes when people have thousands of dollars, locked up in protocols, and they don't know the fundamentals of crypto. I mean, again, it is so important, and nobody is too old or too to learn. I mean, again, there's never a stupid question. Please understand that it has nothing to do with your IQ level, your race, your age. Everybody should learn how to be custodians of their own assets and put those assets to work. So once you do it once or twice, the whole adding liquidity and removing liquidity aspect is pretty universal on every chain. So it is a skill that again is vital in DeFi especially. So and to that point as well, just to clarify a little bit, LA touched on it on EMP specifically. Yes, we did remove the zapping functions because all of the routing for that is done through PancakeSwap, which is where all of our main liquidity is. But because we don't own PancakeSwap, I wish we did, but and we don't have our own DEX on BSC, we are not able to mitigate front-running bots, and that's why it's so bullish on Spark and CETO and the other dexes that we actually build ourselves, is because we are able to offer zapping functions, and we're able to have mechanisms in place that mitigate front-running bots and sniper bots and AMM bots. So, and that's another really cool product market fit on all the chains that we're building on as well. Even some of the other dexes that may have more volume than us or more users than us, none of them have the anti-bot technology that we offer. So a lot of those protocols are exploited daily in terms of these bots removing liquidity from tokens and the protocol itself. So just be fully aware of all of that. And another reason why Spark and CETO and eventually L1 DEX are so bullish for sure. So, all right, awesome, LA. Any other last minute points before we take some questions?
No, let's hop into some questions. We have some on Discord.
All right.
And then I think there's also some on YouTube that we can hop into after.
Perfect. While LA goes over to Discord, again, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, all the engagement really helps us grow, especially going into the bull market. And if you do have any last minute questions, just jump on the live stream and you can ask them right now on YouTube. So, all right, go ahead, LA.
All right. Are there plans to add some of the revenue streams in the DAAS contracts to help rebuild the pool balances?
Yeah, so again, that is part of the overall fundamentals of a system recovery, is that the value will be in, EMP and eShare as we recover PEG. And that alone, even though we're not directly injecting funds into DAAS contracts, that will be what is the catalyst for those recovering. Again, I mean, just as an example, if we get back to PEG, whatever you're getting in Detonator right now, or that's easy to calculate because it's a fixed PEG amount. But that's a 10x on the reward. So if you're making $1 a day right now, and you feel like it's not even worth compounding, when we recover PEG, that's $10 a day now. So and obviously that is assuming that there's funds in the pool balance, but like we've said many, many times, the whole idea is that we make those contracts lucrative again, and maybe even a way to get a bigger share of the protocol through again the mechanism of everything you claim goes to your microgrid, well the central grid, and then that adds to your microgrid. So that is again a gamification element that it may be more beneficial to go into Detonator or Reactor or any of DOS contracts rather than just buying the asset outright to get more of a share. So, and on top of all that, again, we're working on a V3 upgrade to all DOS contracts, which will also, mitigate the sell pressure or claiming pressure altogether. So, all of those things have a much bigger impact than us trying to, divert funds into those contracts directly. Because at the end of the day, it's about the yield that Fusion itself generates. And as long as you're sacrificing into Fusion, and even if maybe you have no new funds, remember, if you have a position in the DOS contracts, you will be able to, again, convert that into Fusion. You will be earning way more through the rev share of Fusion itself than if we would just inject into the DOS contracts. So, all right, I know it's a little bit long-winded, but LA, anything you want to add to that or clarify?
Yeah, and then just also remember, on top of everything that AJ just said, as the protocol is reaching full steam again and we're back at PEG, all of those parts of the DOS contracts that initially made it so bullish and had all that gamification happening, the lottery, the win it now, the daily highest depositor, all of those things are going to become a lot more attractive because people once again have a lot more confidence in the protocol. So all of a sudden those contracts become a lot shinier and new again, and people are theoretically more interested in depositing in them again because they have more confidence in the overall sustainability and future and bullishness of the protocol as a whole, because we're back at PEG, everything's pumping, everything's paying out again, LPs are worth a lot more, your daily burst is paying out a lot more, and everyone's excited about the protocol as a whole again. Now, the reason that the pool balance drained over these, this last year and a half is because PEG was going down slowly, and people, with the bear market, were losing confidence in the market and in our protocol a little bit. And when some people were claiming, they thought, well, I better claim too. And when people want to do what other people are doing, and so the reverse works as well. People want to do what other people are doing, and so when everything's booming again, people want to do what other people are doing. They're going to be excited again. So hope that makes sense.
Absolutely, I love that. I mean, again, I think that's something people are definitely not taking into account for sure. And when we're popping off again, we're back at PEG. Everybody's bullish. The community's thriving. We're getting new users. I mean, we have all the instruments in place. The detonator video, for instance. We were just talking about this with the amazing guy that made that video, Julius. No other, even to today, no other protocol has the production value that original detonator video has. So, everything is here. Nothing has, fundamentally changed. And again, one last point, not to be that guy or people to take it as an excuse, but we've always said from day one, you can literally go back and listen to 2 years of AMAs, that all DAAS contracts are not a certificate of deposit, they're not an annuity, they are a game, and you have to treat that accordingly. So, all right, very good, LA. On to the next one.
On to the next one. All right. Okay. For the Sparks PERPS platform, will there be more advanced features that CEX platforms have, like cross leverage and adding more to margin / anti-liquidation countermeasures, etc.?
Yeah, so again, if you go through the longer tutorial, that's about an hour long, it's both Dex CEO, Jake, and myself. We go step by step, and once you open a position, there is a little I call it a crayon in our tutorial, but it's more like a pencil that allows you to edit your stop loss and your take profit as well as adjust some other settings. So that might be again a great way to mitigate, a liquidation or, again, worst case scenario, you close your position and open a new one. But yeah, there are some features that we have that will help with that. Obviously, in a centralized exchange, you do have to sacrifice speed and maybe a few other features that you may be used to from a centralized option. But what you gain is the decentralized aspect, where you never have to worry about the money that you do make not being paid out. I hear horror stories all the time from centralized exchanges where somebody will have an incredible run. They make all this money, they have it in their account, and then that centralized exchange either freezes their account, requires them to do additional KYC, flat out bans them, that you name it, and that is the risk that you always run with a centralized exchange that you will never ever run into uh, with a decentralized option. So again, the minute that you hit end, or close position, you are paid to your wallet trustlessly and automatically. So, those are just some things to keep in mind.
Perfect. Okay. When can we expect more trading pairs to be added?
Yeah, so again, this is something that is on the priority list for sure. We've done a bunch of market research, and although it would be amazing, and it is definitely part of the plan to add more assets to speculate on, we see the majority of volume on Bitcoin and ETH anyway. Again, just to give a little more background, it doesn't mean that we're not interested. So, I guess the short answer is we just have to make sure that number one, we have enough liquidity to facilitate more volatile options, and number two, we just have the time to implement. And also, which we have figured out on our side, but another hurdle is having a reliable price feed. That's less of an issue for us now than it used to be, so that's exciting. But yeah, I mean, we absolutely are looking into all the Richard Hart ecosystem tokens, PLS, Hex, Inc., and then also other blue chips, top 10, top 50. I know a lot of people have been asking to add Sol. That will probably be higher up on the priority list. So yeah, and last but not least, we just have to be careful. We don't add lower market cap assets or lower liquidity assets because they are much more manipulative, and we would never want to put the protocol in jeopardy with a whale that can essentially open an order and then manipulate the price. So we have to be very careful with that as well. But yeah, it's definitely coming.
Amazing. All right, two more on Discord. Based on the price action of CETO 404, are you confident that Spark 404s can help the Spark price long term?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously we've seen, a little bit of decline in the GCO 404. I think we've learned, again, I've said this many times from, even AMAs months ago, that we were going to sit back a little bit and observe. We learned, a little bit more from everything that we launch, and we're able to apply what we've learned into the next iteration. So, there is definitely some of that. That doesn't mean I'm not bullish and excited on the GCO 404. Again, I think people are just asleep on the yield. The yield is the secret sauce. So I know, admittedly, I went really heavy from my personal allocation into the GCO 404. But even that, I mean, the reflections and the real yield from the protocol are very, very attractive. And I think as we see a floor being made on GCO, that people will ape back in. And there's a lot of other external quote unquote issues that I think, maybe stunted the growth a little bit as well, and that is the marketplace. I mean, I know a lot of people are hesitant to trade because they don't want to lose their rares, admittedly so. I mean, we would feel horrible if somebody, wasn't paying attention and traded one of their rares away. So we are, again, the marketplace will have the locking mechanism to make sure you keep the NFTs you want, and then the volume, will tick up again because people will be trying to get more rare ones. So again, I know I'm kind of very convoluted on some of my answers tonight, but I want to give all the background. So yeah, I mean, I think again, we're gonna start with a little bit of a lower price on Spark. I think that will help the Spark 404s rather. I think that will help mitigate that. And again, we could easily see a run up and then a sell off. But remember, over time, it will find a floor, and the yield is what matters. And at the end of the day, no matter what happens, it burned a ton of supply. So you cannot argue with the overall health of the ecosystem when, literally, again, in CETO, as an example, half of the supply, roughly half now is gone. So, overall, it's still super bullish, and I think it just takes people to really realize, because remember, 404s are bleeding edge. A lot of people don't even know, are overwhelmed by the mechanisms of the 404, and as it becomes more and more commonplace, I think, people will understand why our 404 contract is superior to all the others. So, yeah. All right. Hopefully that
Love
helps.
it.
Ella, you want to add to that? Yeah.
Love it. And I love when you do this, but you actually answered the final question while you were answering the second last question.
I love it. All right. Cool. Yeah. And just to clarify,
Okay.
what was it? Yeah.
Just what have you learned
Oh, perfect.
that will apply? Yeah. Okay, so from YouTube, will there be a 10% tax on the Spark 404s like the GCETO 404s?
Yeah, again, another really great question. And again, Jake's CEO, next CEO might get mad at me, but yeah, I think we also have learned that. I think we may be reducing the tax slightly. I know that it won't be more than 10%. Again, we're still in some final economic models, but there's a little bit of alpha for you. Again, they always get it out of me, LA, some way or another. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that is all the questions actually.
Cool. All right. Well, again, we ran through it pretty great today. It was still an hour long. That flew by today. Again, we
Yeah.
were hoping to make it a little shorter, but I think we covered a ton of great info. That security discussion was killer. So again, uh, even if it's not about our franchises or protocols, we try to deliver as much value to our community as possible. So again, share that safety part of our AMA. We want more people to know what's happening and how to stay safe. It's a bit of an inside joke, but a crypto investor the journey is building your wealth, and then once you have your wealth, it's about keeping your wealth, and that is the sad reality in crypto. That the hard part is actually making sure that you keep your wealth, you don't overinvest in shitty projects, and you don't get scammed. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the big things to be looking out for sure. So
For sure.
yeah, cool. All right,
Awesome.
any final words, LA? Any words of wisdom? Any bullish sentiment? Or not bullish? I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And remember, uh, whatever you focus on most often, and not only thoughts but feelings, is what you're going to create in your life. So if you want to see more positive outcomes, focus on feeling and thinking more positive things the majority of your day. Even if it feels forced at first, it'll become a habit, and if we can all get into the habit, we will attract more positive things into our lives. We're all in each other's lives for a reason, because we're all going in the same direction, which is up, and we have only up to go from here. So thank you guys for being here. We always love being with you, and very excited for some bullish updates on Thursday once we've had a chance to have a full dev meeting and get all the updates and give you guys a lot more details about what is to come.
Amazing. Let's go. I love it, LA. And yes, I'm a firm believer that positivity breeds positivity. Some fudsters and haters say that we're a little too kumbaya, but that's okay with me. Again, I think we have all been brought together for a reason, and I think that we're going to see that really come to life when Fusion is finally here. All of you that have been investing in your investment, keeping abreast of what we're doing, supporting each other in the community. I think that we see some incredible gains for all of us through Fusion and as we continue to build. So that's not financial advice, that's not a promise of future results, but we as a team are doing everything we can to make that a reality. So again, appreciate all of you, like LA said, and hope that all of you have a great week. We'll have some great updates on Thursday. Please make sure to partake in our social sharing competition with our Perpetuals platform. Again, a super secret bonus for the #1 highest percentage trade that I see as well. And yeah, we'll have other updates with our leaderboard competition. May will be a great month for Perpetuals. So, all right, on that note, again, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. And good night, good day. We will see you on Thursday.